In this video, I'm going to discuss Train Dreams by Denis Johnson, which is flat out one of the best stories I've ever read in my life. I've returned to it multiple times throughout the years because the story has deep resonances, and I've gotten a lot out of following along with Robert Grenier, the main character of the story, and I hope that you do too. In this video, I'm not going to be giving anything away that happens in the middle of the story or towards the end so that you can enjoy it for yourself. But what I am going to do is give you an introduction to this story so that you can be primed to know if it's something that you'd be interested in. And also, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Denis Johnson because he's an incredible writer. He got a lot of critical acclaim, got nominated and shortlisted for a lot of awards, but for whatever reason, he's not a name that comes to mind for a lot of people when they think of the best American writers, and I believe he was just that, one of the best American writers. So, Train Dreams, what's it about? It's about a guy named Robert Grenier. He's a fictional character, though he's based on a lot of real day laborers who made their money, lived their lives in the American West. And so, Robert is a guy who's gone kind of job to job throughout his life. At the beginning of the story, he has a family and he has a young daughter. And we are introduced to him while something is kind of going awry on the job while he's at work. He's kind of a long walk away from home and he's working in the American West. And I think what resonates so deeply with me about this story is how it handles change. Obviously, it's a really short book, but it's told on such an epic scale. The story is told on such an epic scale for it being so short. And by the end of it, I remember very vividly the first time I read it being so struck by how much the story covered thematically in such a short span. I immediately went back and started rereading it. It's very emotional. I do remember crying the first time I read this book. And obviously I love stories. Stories move me deeply, but it's really rare that I actually get to the point where tears are involved. So just wanted to note that too as a vote of confidence for this story. It's powerful. A lot of famous people have said a lot of really positive things about it. James Wood, who's the author of How Fiction Works, which is a great read if you're looking to understand fiction more deeply, had this to say about Train Dreams. The visionary, miraculous element in Johnson's deceptively tough realism makes beautiful appearances in this book. The natural world of the American West is examined, logged, and frequently transfigured. Denis Johnson is brilliant because he will engage you intellectually. He'll engage your emotions through poetic language, and he will also kind of inspire you as you're imagining the story and following the characters within the story. Primarily, you'll be following Robert Grenier, whose name is pretty similar to Mount Rainier. I've heard a pretty funny clip of Denis Johnson himself kind of talking about naming the character, and he's kind of reading aloud a passage, and he kind of comically mentions that even he doesn't quite know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce the main character's last name, which I can relate to because my last name is Dozier, but it's derived from French. So I think really you're supposed to say it Dozier, but we in my family say Dozier. Anyway, I hope you enjoy Train Dreams if you decide to pick it up. I certainly loved it. If you've already read it, let other people know what you love about it. I mean, you're allowed to not like it, but I hope that you didn't not like it. There we go. And if you read the book because you saw this video, please do come back and leave me a comment. I always love to hear from those of you who have read the stories that I love, and hope you're doing well. Hope this video finds you well. If you got something out of it, definitely consider subscribing. And also liking the video goes a long way for the channel. I'll be making book-related content here indefinitely. This has been a video about Train Dreams by Denis Johnson, one of the best stories I've ever read. I will probably reread it another handful of times before I die. Hopefully, knock on wood, knock on something. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.